This video will probably be more of a home movie than it will be something worthy of Hometown Cable, but chances are I'll be putting it up on Hometown Cable. It's the 14th of October 2016, and there's still good color for the middle of the month of October in the North Country, and my wife Judy and I are driving around on a Friday. Our first stop was here in Perry's Mills, and it shows you not only the scenery but just how dry it is at this particular point in time. This is looking toward the village of Champlain. We had some rain yesterday and water is flowing. We're now looking toward Moors, but again, this is the river. Just an amazingly low water level. And you have to wonder just where the fish are, how fish could survive in rivers like this. And if we don't get some rain before the cold temperatures come in, this water will be frozen right, the river will be frozen right to the bottom for over a good portion of it. Seeing cattle out grazing was once a very common sight, but now it's beginning to get rarer and rarer in the North Country. This farm here is on this little pasture area is on the Creek Road in Champlain. We are now on Southwick Road, and I may be 100% wrong, but I think this might be called Beaver Creek, and it's barely a creek on this October 14th, 2016. I must point out the bridge is a little bit on the dangerous side here. Here's my foot, and then immediately ahead of my foot is about a 10-inch drop to the next level, and someone could easily slide right through there. Fortunately, it's a very low traffic area. I'm sure those cattle we just saw get their main water supply from this creek. Again, on the Southwick Road, and water level is just amazing for this time of the year, with a little rain in the near forecast. We've now made our way to Moors, and this was once the bridge that came from the Fee Road. It took you into the village of Moors, which is now just a hamlet, no longer a village. The village is in that direction, and a favorite swimming area for a lot of people over the years. As we can see from all the exposed rocks here, just how low the river is at this point in Moors. This is now still used as a footbridge. I'm not brave enough to step on the old sidewalk part of it. These timbers are getting old and probably kind of rotten. One of the things that we noticed on our way to this location, coming down on the La Valley Road, was that there were a lot of geese who are taking advantage of the calm waters. So they're not all nesting in Lake Alice and Shazy. Some of the birds are spending their day here on the Great Shazy River. And that bridge there is the Route 22 bridge, which is still very active. And that's where the railroad used to come to town 150 some odd years ago. The D&H Railroad, not the Rutland that came east-west. This was the north-south one that crossed by where the Blue Note restaurant used to be, and where the Knights of Columbus used to be, in that area there. Went up to Larry Marn's little train station. We've moved now to Woods Falls. Well, actually, we're going to Woods Falls. We're in Moore's Forks. And Route 11 is going east, west, left, right on your screen. We're on the Woods Falls Road. And this is the bridge that crosses it, and more view of running water and lots of rocks exposed. There's a very nice looking little waterfall right there. For the time being, we'll call this the Moore's Forks Rapids. That's we're now looking up toward Ellenburg in this direction. Now looking in the direction of Moores, I'm going to move to my left here to get more of the bend of the river. And what a difference time makes. 20 years ago, November of 1996, the flood of 96 occurred, and this overgrown area here, Bob, Ben, and I witnessed a trailer that was a mobile home that was hanging on the edge. It's long been gone. That's on the Emery Road. And the water was right up to the top of the banks here and overflowing. And I am probably 15 to 20 feet above the water right here as we stand here. So in Moore's Forks on the bridge, Moore's Forks to our left, Woods Falls to our right, and Moore's ahead of us. Now that the flood of 96 has come back into my memory and the realization that we're 20 years away from that flood, I'm going to be looking at contrasts from the rest of our journey. And this is Woods Falls. And I doubt if too many people in the northern tier have seen it many times where the water flow has been this feeble. Here at Woods Falls, between Moore's Forks and Altona. It's a favorite gathering area that is now posted. It's private property, so you are not welcome to come here and party, but you can still see it from the bridge. And things are very quiet here on this October 14th with the fall colors. We were looking toward the Altona area, now we're looking in the direction of Moore's Forks. Very serene, and a big contrast to the way it was in November of '96. We are now at the other end of the Joe Wood Road. We're on the Minor Farm Road. The Joe Wood intersection is in the direction we're looking at. We're looking in the direction of Scioto. Well, we're going to come in high and zoom in here, and it might be a little difficult to tell that this is a river here. This is the river as it runs across alongside the Joe Wood Road, heading towards Woods Falls. And again, the contrast to '96, the flooding. This water was up right to the top of this bridge and flooded several portions of the Joe Wood Road. In fact, there were at least one or two places across the road that got flooded. Joe Wood Road has little ups and downs, slight ups and downs that you wouldn't really notice unless you're looking for them. And there's footage of at least one rescue being taking place out there, where a vehicle driving along and all of a sudden started going into an area where the water was above the safety limit for the car, or I can't remember if it was a car or a truck at this point. But there's footage of that rescue taking place, and it's hard to imagine that that river could have been that high at that particular time. We're now looking at the river as it approaches us from the Feinberg Park area. Not sure of the year, but a few years ago, a couple of young folks lost their life in that flood that washed out parts of the bridge and the Devil's Den Road. Again, the contrast is just amazing how nature can go from these very dry conditions to overwhelming the riverbanks. We're now at a place I visited many times over the years, and it's just a tribute to the folks of Altona, the beautiful ballpark they have here, Feinberg Park. And of course the campgrounds are in the back, and there are some nice looking colors. Now standing on the Devil's Den Bridge, Devil's Den Road Bridge, here at Feinberg Park. And again, the trickle, just can't seem to overstate it. It just, how low the water is here on this October 14th. And again, the contrast of when that floodwater a few years back came through here and washed out a section of this road right here. We saw it washed out in '96 and again a couple of years back. And a vehicle coming from that direction went by the markers, thinking that a road this high from the bottom of the river would be safe to cross, and they were swept away. And I'm trying to think if it were 2 or 3 lives that were lost because of that fatal mistake. We're now just on the outskirts of Ellenberg Depot, and I'm shooting blindly here at the horizon. We're on the Gadway Road, which is off the Green Valley Road, and I'm not sure if the colors are going to show through here, but there are a lot of color in the low mountains here. Again, we're on the Gadway Road, which is just off of the Green Valley. Okay, apparently we were still on the Green Valley Road. The intersection that I came across I thought was sending me on to the Gadway, but it took us on to the Green Valley. I've got Judy holding the camera now so I can concentrate on driving, and we're on the Canaan Road, which is where the Green Valley comes out. Going by, looks like the Hansinger place, and we're heading in toward Ellenberg Depot, and ahead of us on the other side of that intersection will be, the intersection of course will be with Route 11, and the other side of there is the Plank Road. This is the view coming down from the Canaan, heading into Ellenberg Depot. I thought it might make an interesting shot on this October 14th. And we have more birds out enjoying the water here at the McGregor Dam in Ellenberg Depot on the Canaan Road. This is talking of flood scenes. There's certainly been their share of floods coming through here. And I would almost guess that McGregor Street was put in one of these years as a way around this bridge, a way of necessity, as folks were otherwise stranded up to the north of here. A way to bypass this bridge. And of course for years there was the hardware store here, and last owned I believe by the Dominics, who now have a Dominics Hardware out by Phil's Chevrolet on the west end of Ellenberg Depot. It was McGregor's and Finley, then I believe Dominic's were the last owners. We step across the road now to the other side, and the river narrows here, but it's you can see why with this, when it narrows here, how much it can back up the water coming into here. This of course is heading toward Moores from the Ellenberg area. The river takes a bend here to the right, and there's some trees that have fallen down. And of course we all know that water has a preference that takes the easiest route. But his first choice is to go in a straight line when it's rushing through here. It doesn't really want to make that curve up there. At times like this, the easiest route is to the right, but as water is rushing through, it wants to take that straight road. And since our theme seems to have become remembering the flood of '96, didn't really start out that way. We're hoping to get some fall colors. We look up next to Northern Adirondack Elementary School. We're in Ellenberg Corners, and here on the Ellenberg Center Road is behind LeBare's store is an area that has certainly seen its more than its share of flooding over the years. The river is coming up from above from Ranchside Park campgrounds. They've had their share of flooding there, Sam Trombley, over the years, and above there, of course, is Ellenberg Center. We're not going to be able to make it that far today in this little excursion. Just look at the low water situation. Again, we're trying to get a little bit of autumn colors. We did manage to find some, but what looks nice in the real world doesn't always translate onto the video, so we didn't video much of that, although Judy was able with her still camera to get some shots of foliage and some of the older barns in the area. Let me point out that traffic coming down the Military Turnpike heading to this intersection is quite heavy at times today. It needs to take our camera a little while to focus here, but this is the view heading east from where the Military Turnpike and Route 11 meet in Ellenberg Corners. On a day like this, you can actually just point your camera in any direction to get a nice shot. We've made our way back. We have a 2:55 deadline that we have to get back to Champlain on, but we stopped on the Creek Road and I took this shot. I think I'll get maybe one more shot before I call an end to this October 14th video. We're going to end our video in downtown Champlain. To our left would be the bridge. Can't see it because of the brush, but to the bridge that crosses Route 9 up by the laundry, where the laundry used to be. Across the river here would be where Bedard's, Raymond Bedard's was. And this is what the river looks like on this October 14th. An easy little trip across to the island, and up that way is Oak Street. Not a lot of color, a lot of green on this October 14th. This is, I don't know if it's unprecedented, but it's certainly rare. And not sure that island property is actually owned by anybody. It used to be community property in the village of Champlain, and there used to be an island there, and 100 years ago they would have picnics out there, but too many floods caused it to become abandoned. So that's going to wrap up our look, and I'm sure if I came here 48 hours ago, this river would not be flowing like it is right now. It would be more stagnant. But we did have a little bit of rain in the last 24 hours to 36 hours. So that's going to end up our October 4th, 2016 look at the foliage and sometimes lack thereof, and the dryness, the river, and the Great Chazy River here in the Clinton community, Clinton County, New York. Now we're going to make our way up back onto Water Street and back home.